Hello everyone. Today I am back with another tutorial. Today I am going to parse one complex JSON and going to connect with API using the Retrofit REST API client. Okay, this is the API I'm going to hit. Okay, let's copy this API. Control C and open the browser. Paste it here. And here you can see this is the JSON response we will get from the API. So this is the JSON object. Inside this, there is a JSON array, amiibo, and these are the fields inside it. Okay, today we are going to parse it. So we are going to cover this tutorial in different parts. So this is the part one of the tutorial. Okay, the output we will get in the end is like this, as you can see. Okay, this is the final output we are going to get after parsing the. As you can see, the project has now successfully been created. Now we need to add some dependency. So for adding the dependency, we will go to our build.gradle app over here, module app. Now here in the dependency, I have already written some dependency over here. You can easily download it from the Google. Okay, let's add this dependency. I am adding the retrofit dependency and JSON dependency and scalar dependency for hiding the string responses. And I'm also adding the glide dependency for fetching the random dynamic images. Let's copy this, Control C, and over here, Control V. Okay. Now I'm also going to add one more plugin over here, which is Kotlin Cap. They're basically used for adding the on annotation for the binding adapters. Okay, we are also going to use the binding adapter in our project. Let's copy this over here and come here and paste it. Control V and click the sync now here. Okay, now we are going to design the layout file of the R project. Okay, let's open the main activity over here. Now, if I check my big JSON, there are some fields over here, as you can see. So this is a JSON array. Inside it, there are some fields. Okay, I am going to display those data on the recycler view. So okay, so I need to take one recycler view. So let's open the Android Studio over here. Now, if I go to the layout file over here and open the activity main file. Now I will take one recycler view and display the data inside it. Okay, let's cut the text view. I will take one recycler view over here and let's take one recycler view. Recycler view, and the width I am taking is match parent and height I am taking is tab content. Now I am specifying the constant here, start of parent. Okay, top to top of parent. Now I'm setting the orientation of recycle view is vertical. Okay, orientation I am setting here is vertical over here, as you can see. Now I am setting the layout manager. I am setting the linear layout manager. Layout manager I'm setting is linear layout manager. Okay, let's give it one ID over here. I'm giving one ID. ID. I'm setting record RV. Okay, this is the ID I'm giving. Let's close this. Now this is my recycler view. Now I have also created a design for the adapter. Okay, I am going to design one adapter of the recycler view. So let's take one file over here. Right click, new, layout resource file, adapter underscore course underscore design. Okay, this is my adapter of the recycler view. Let's click OK. Okay, so inside the adapter, we are going to take the fields. These are the fields. So first I will take one image, and inside the image, I will take below the image, I will take those fields. Okay, let's move the Android Studio over here. Now inside it, I will take one image view over here. Let's take one image view. Inside the constraint layout, I will take one image view, Android x.5 compact with get.image view. Now I am taking the width as 200 dp and height same 200 dp I am giving. Okay. Now I'm taking the margin from the top. Margin top I am taking it as 20 dp. Okay. Now I need to specify the constraints. Okay. Let's specify the constraint over here. Start of parent. Okay. Now I've specified another constant, top to top of parent to top of parent, and let's specify another constant and to end of parent. Okay, as you can see, the image moves towards the center over here. Okay, now I can also give it some ID over. Let's give it one ID. I'm giving it one ID. ID I am giving ID. I'm giving IMG. Okay, any ID you can give. Okay, let's close this. So, so we are going to fetch one dynamic image and display it on our recycler view. Okay, let's set one random image. If it API fails to load the data, we will display one random image over here. Okay, this is a random image. So image we are basically fetching is a dynamic image. This is a random image we are going to display if the API fails to load the image. Okay. Now take one text view below it. I'm going to take one text view. Let's take one text view. App compact text view. And width I'm taking wrap content. Height I'm taking wrap content. And let's specify the constant to it. I'm specifying start of parent and top to bottom of below this image, top to bottom of IMG. Okay. Let's specify the margin start. Margin start I'm taking 20 dp. And let's take the margin top also. Margin top I am taking 20 dp. Okay, you can see there is my text. Now specify the text size also. Text size I am taking as 20 SP. Now take the text style also. Text style I am taking as bold. Okay. Now give it some ID over here. I will give one ID. ID I am taking Amiibo series. Okay. This is the ID I am giving it. Any ID you can give according to your choice. Okay, let's close this. Okay, let's open the JSON file over here. So I have taken the first field over here. Now I left with those fields. Okay, let's open Android Studio. Now I need to take one more text view below this. Okay, now next field I'm going to take is character. Let's copy this text view. I'm saving some time. Control C and let's come it over here. Control V. Okay. Now I need to change the ID. Okay, let's change its ID. I'm changing it ID. Now change the top to bottom of Amiibo series. As you can see, this is my first text view and this is my second text view. Okay. Now I am going to take my third field. Let's take the third field. Game series. Okay. The third field is game series. Let's copy this. Control A, Control C, Control V. Okay. Let's change its ID. I'm changing its ID to game series TV. Okay. And the top to bottom of character TV. As you can see, I have successfully taken the three fields over here. As you can see, check on our JSON. I have taken Amiibo series, character series, game series. Okay. Now the third field is head. Okay. Let's take it. Let's copy this. Control C. And over here, Control V. Okay. Let's change the ID. ID I'm changing. Head TV. Okay. Top to bottom of TV. As you can see, this is my fourth text view. Now check the next field. We are going to take the name. Image we have already taken. Now we will take image view. Now we will take the next field, which is the name. Okay. Let's copy this. Control C and over here Control V. Now change the ID. ID I am changing it to name TV. Okay, top to bottom of add TV. Okay, now check the next field. Next field is release. Okay, let's copy this, Control C, and over here Control V, change its ID. ID I am changing it to release TV. Okay, now top to bottom of name TV. As you can see, I have successfully created a design of the our RecyclerView adapter. Okay, on our next part, we are going to design the adapter of our RecyclerView. Okay, as well as the API client and API interface. We will cover those topics on our next video. For more videos like this, kindly subscribe my channel and share the videos. Thank you. Welcome to the part two of the JSON parsing series. In last video, we have successfully created the design of our RecyclerView adapter, as you can see over there. In this video, we are going to create the API client, API interface, and the adapter of our RecyclerView. First, we will create the API client over here. Let's right click over here, new, and I will take the Kotlin class file and let name it as API client. Okay, press enter. Now let's create one constant over here to add the base URL of our API constant val base URL. Okay, URL. Let's initialize it. So let's open. So this is our API up to the question mark. Before the question mark, this is our base URL. Let's copy this line, Control C over there, and let's paste it over here, Control V. So this is our base URL. Now create one companion object. Companion object is nothing but is a static block which can be called directly by using the name of the class. Let's create one companion object over here. Companion object I have created. Inside the companion object, let's create one variable of retrofit and let's initialize it to null. Var retrofit, and it will be type of retrofit. I'm initialize it to null. Okay. Now let's create one function. Fun get API client. And it will return retrofit. So the function. Let's return the retrofit over here. Return retrofit. Now inside the main function, let's create one variable val JSON, and I initialize it to JSON builder dot create. Now, if the retrofit is null, if retrofit is null is equal to null, come inside the if block. Let's initialize the retrofit. Retrofit is initialized to retrofit dot builder. Let's add the base URL dot base URL and pass the base URL over here. Base URL. Let's pass the base URL over here. Base URL. Now add the converter factory. Dot add converter factory. Scalar converter factory for handling the string responses. Dot create. Now add the another converter factory. Dot add converter factory. I'm adding the JSON converter factory. Dot create, and I will pass the JSON inside it. JSON dot build. Okay, as you can see, I have successfully created the API client over here. Now I will need one API interface. So let's create one API interface over here. Let's create in for API interface. Right click, new Kotlin class file, and I am creating the API interface over here. Let's name it as JSON API. Let's create the interface. JSON API. Let's enter. Now I will use the get query for fetching the API records at the rate get. Inside the get, let's copy the line after the question mark here. Let's copy this line, Control C, and come over here and paste it over here, Control V. Now create one function, fun get course, and it will call of type string, call, side I will pass string. Okay. Now I successfully created the API interface over here. Now I need to create one model class. Okay, for creating the model class, first hit the API. Let's open this and copy the API link, Control C. Now I will come to the Chrome browser. Open the Chrome browser here. And let's paste the API over here, Control V. Now this is our API. Let's copy this, Control C, let's copy this JSON. Let's open another tab and go to JSON to Pojo. JSON to Pojo. Come here and paste the JSON over here. Now from here, select the JSON here. And source type will be JSON. Okay, let's preview it. This is our Pojo class. You can directly copy this class or you can create your own class by any name. Any name you can use. It's depend on you. Now go to the Android Studio and I'm creating one new class over here. New Kotlin class file and I'm naming it as course data model. Let's then enter. Let's copy the whole class over here. As you can see, this is the class, and inside it we are having some getter setter over here. So I will copy the whole class over here. Let's copy this class. Control C. Now come to the Android Studio. Let's paste it over here, Control V, and it is asking, do you want to convert it to Kotlin? As we are converting the Java code to Kotlin, the Android Studio will automatically convert the Java code to Kotlin. Press yes. You can change its name, course, any name you can give, course, data model. Okay. Now here I need to create another class of type release data model. As you can see, there is another class of type release. You can see over here. So I need to create one another class of release. Let's create another class over here. Create another class, new Kotlin class file, and I'm naming it as release data model center. And from here, let's copy this. Control C and come to our Android Studio. Let's paste it over here. Control V. Press yes. Release data model. Okay. Let's change it over here to remove the error of type release data model. Okay, as you can see, the error has gone. Now we are going to create the adapter of our recycle view. This is our recycle view. We are going to create the adapter of our recycler view. For that, first we will enable the data binding in our build.gradle app. Here, go to the build.gradle module over here in Android, create build features. Inside it, I'm setting the data binding initialize to true. Control S, save it, and click the sync now button. Let's wait for the sync. Now I've successfully enabled the data binding. Now go to the main activity. Let's create the instance of binding over here. I'm late initializing it, late in it, where binding. First move, first go to the activity main XML file over here. Right click over here, show context section, and convert to data binding layout. Control S. Now move to the main activity over here and let's initialize it. Late in it, where binding of type activity main binding. Inside the function on create, initialize it. Let's remove this line. Binding initialize to data binding util dot set content view. I am passing this and passing r dot layout dot activity name. Okay. Now move to the adapter over here. Let's convert it to grading layout. Show context section. Convert to data binding layout. Now inside it, let's take one variable. variable, and the name I am giving it as course. Any name you can give, and it will be type of our model class form dot example dot our model class name course data model. Okay, as we are working from binding, let's extract the field of our model class. Here is our model class. This is the field of our model class over here. You can see the first field is series, then character, then game series. Let's come to our design file over here. And the first field is R of image. Okay, let's move to the second field. The second field is our series. Let's set the text over here. Dynamically set the text. Text at the rate, name of the variable, course dot amiibo series. Okay. Now come to the second field over here. Text I am giving at the rate course dot character. This is the field of our model class, as you can see. Now move to the second field, next field. This is game series. I am giving it a text ID game series. Text at the rate course dot game series. Okay, let's move below. Its ID is head, and let's name it text at the rate course dot head. The last next one is name text at the rate course dot name. As you can see, the next field is our release. Close this at the rate text course dot release. Okay. Now we will continue this in our next part. If you like this video, kindly like the channel, like the video, and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Welcome to my channel. In last video, we have created the model class and successfully set the text of our recycler view. Now in this video, we are going to create the binding adapter and set the image. We are going to use the glide dependency. So let's create the binding adapter first. So right click here, new Kotlin class file, and I am naming it as custom adapter. Click enter. First, let's remove this error. Here inside release, I'm going to get the AU. Okay, let's call the AU here release dot AU. Okay, the error has gone now. Now go to the custom adapter. Now here I will create one binding adapter over here. Let's remove this class line. We can directly create the adapter over here at binding adapter. We are going to use the notation binding adapter. Now inside this I am passing the name as image URL, image URL, image from URL. Now here I am going to create one function, fun image view, android.widget, dot image view dot image from URL. Here I am going to pass the URL of type string. Now inside this function, I'm going to use the glide dependency. Glide dot with here it is asking for the context and dot load, and it is asking for the URL. I'm going to pass the URL here. URL. If it's failed to load the image, I'm going to set the random image over here dot error, and inside it I am going to pass the random image dot r dot drawable dot ic launcher underscore foreground. Okay, dot into this image view. Okay, now save this, control S. Now come to our course design over here. Now I'm going to set the image dynamically over here using the glide dependency. I will use the binding adapter over here. Now go to the image over here. Let's click it. Let's set the image from URL, and I am going to pass at the rate and the name of the model class field course dot image. Okay, let's click this. This is the field of our model class. Now I'm going to create the adapter of our recycler view. This is our recycler view. I am going to create its adapter. Let's create its adapter first. File new Kotlin file. I am naming it as course adapter. Course adapter. Press enter over here. Now I'm going to bind the layout with it. First, I will create the instance of binding over here before the class. I'm taking it outside. Late in it. Where binding of type activity main binding. Let's initialize it. Let's, inside the class, I'm going to take the two fields. First one in context, where context of type context. And next field I am taking is the list, which will be type of the array list, where list. I am taking the list of type the array list. Array list of type are model class course data model, course data model, and it will extend the recycler view, extend recycler view dot adapter. Inside it, course adapter dot create one class over here. I am creating the class my holder. My holder. This is the name of the class. Now click here, create a class my holder. This file. Now click here, implement the members. We are going to override these function on create view holder, on bind view holder, and get item count. Okay, click OK over here. Now here on create view holder, we are going to initialize the binding. Let's initialize it. Binding is initialized to adapter. Code design binding dot inflate, and I am going to pass here the layout inflator. Layout inflator I am going to pass layout inflator dot from, and I am going to pass the context here, context, and the next argument it is going to take is the parent. The next one is attached to root. I am passing it false. Okay. And this is the wrong. Late in it where binding of type adapter course binding. I have written wrong. Okay. We are creating the binding of our adapter course design binding. Okay, not activity made binding. Click enter. Now you can see the error has gone. Now it is asking for the return statement. I am going to return my class over here. Return my holder. Return my holder. And inside it, I am going to pass the binding over here. The binding. Okay. Now go to the my holder class. Here, I am going to pass the two field over here. Inside it, let's pass the two parameter over here. First one is binding, and it will be type of adapter core design binding, and it will extend the RecyclerView.view folder, RecyclerView dot view holder, and it inside it I am passing the binding dot root. Now you can see the error has gone. Now inside the get item count, I am going to return the size of the array list. Okay, let's return the size of the array list. Return list dot size. Now inside the onBind view holder, now here I'm going to pass folder dot binding dot force, and here I am going to pass the list and going to pass the position of the items for position. Okay. Now I have successfully created the adapter of our recycler view. Now I am going to pass the JSON. Let's go to the main activity. This will I will going to cover on my next video. We are going to pass the JSON. Okay. If you want more videos like this, kindly like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Welcome to the final part of the JSON parsing series. In this part, we are going to parse the JSON. So let's go to the main activity over here. Here I'm going to create the instance of retrofit and initialize it to null. I'm initializing to null where retrofit and it will type of retrofit and I'm initializing it to null. I am creating the instance of API interface where JSON API of type JSON API and I am initializing to null. Okay. Now I am going to initialize it. Let's create one function over here. Init UI. I'm calling the function here and let's create the function. Okay. Create a function. Now after initializing it, I am going to display the data. I'm calling one function over here. Display play data. Okay. Click here and create the function over here. Create a function display data. Now inside the init UI, I'm going to initialize it. Let's initialize it. I am going to initialize the retrofit. Retrofit is initialized to API client dot get API client. As you can see, this is our companion object, and the function inside the companion object can be called by using the class name over here. And here is a class. Name is API client. Okay, API client dot get API client. Now I'm going to initialize the JSON API. JSON API is initialized to retrofit dot create, and I'm going to pass here is JSON API class.java. Okay, I think so. Not null assertion here. Okay, now I will go to display function over here. After initializing, I am calling the display function. Let's cut from here. I am pasting after this. Now inside the main function, inside the display function, I'm going to call val my call, and it will call retrofit of type string JSON API dot get course. Okay. Now I'm going to call the asynchronous call, my call dot enqueue, and it is asking for callback object callback string. Now click here and implement the members, and it will override two function on response and on failure. Click OK. Now go to the on response over here. On response, we are going to pass one log. Let's pass one log and check the response. Log dot e. I am passing the tag as res, and the message is response response dot body dot toString. Okay. Now let's run the app and check the response. Let's run the app and check the response first. First, change the either compile SDK. I'm changing it to 34 first. Let's sync now here. As you can see, I have changed the compile SDK version over here. Now let's run the app and check the response. What response we will get? So we need to also add the internet permission on our Android manifest file over here. As you can see, we need to add the internet permission over here and recheck our URL of API. Also mention the HTTPS over here. Now after running the app, we will get the response like this. Let's check the logcat here. So this is the type of response we are getting from the API. Okay. This is the response of our API. Okay. Now we are going to let's open. Now we are going to display the item or a recycler view. Let's open the main activity over here. Now on we are going to set the element on our recycler view. Okay. So let's check the JSON. We have the root element. We are going to create the root element. Here is our. Let's first check the JSON over here. This is our URL. Let's hit it. We are going to pass the JSON now. Let's copy this URL. Control C. Let's open. This is my YouTube channel. Now click. Here you can see the root element is object. We are going to take the object as a root element. Inside it, we are having the array. Okay. Now move to the Android Studio over here. Now, after printing the log, here is my log. Let's create the root element val. I'm taking a val JSON. Any name you can take. I'm taking JSON contact dot. Let's initialize it. It will initialize to JSON object. Inside it, I'm going to pass the data, or we are going to pass the response dot body. Now inside the object, we are having the JSON array, val JSON array, and JSON array info. I'm going to pass here is JSON dot from JSON. Here I am passing the array list. Array list is of type course data model. And inside it, I am passing JSON contact dot get JSON array, and the name of JSON array is Amiibo. Dot toString, comma object type token, Java dot util dot array list of type post data model. Dot type. Okay, I have successfully passed the JSON. Now I am going to display those items on the recycler view. Okay, Now run on UI thread. I am passing here val obj adapter, and I am initializing it to course adapter, and it is asking for context. I am passing the base context over here, and the next one it is asking for the array list. This is JSON array info. Now set the adapter to the recycle view binding dot record rv dot adapter, and here I am passing the obj adapter. Okay, it's done now. Let's run the app. JSON parsing has been done. Now let's run the app over here. As you can see, the app has successfully been launched. As you can see, this is the app. This is the first item, this is the second item, this is the third item, this is the fourth item, and this is the fifth item. Okay. In this way, you can easily parse any type of JSON. If you want the more videos like this, kindly like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.